Fanservice, the official talk show of the Diabolical League of Awesome. As you can tell, that's what going to a convention with us is like. Clyde wants to know what people taste like.
Hell yeah.
I don't quite understand that. Why? Okay, you never really explained to me why that's a curious thing for you.
You ever seen like the movie like Cannonball? Like for all we know, it could taste like chicken or something great. I mean, I wouldn't probably eat the penis.
Wow!
I don't eat anything else.
All right, so welcome to Fanservice. I'm your host, Stone, and I'm here with Death,
No.
Legend Larry,
Hello.
and Clyde, who's obsessed with his crotch, apparently.
Way too much.
We're going to be talking about our fun at Wizard World last weekend, which we went to and just had a lot of fun. We were in costumes, and it was a different experience being in costume 100%.
First time for me.
Yeah, it was the first time for most of us to go in an actual costume. Death was scaring people left and right. It was hilarious. They were like giving him this wide berth because I don't know if it's because it was Death or they didn't see what was on underneath the mask. But you know,
you tried looking,
and we were like making fun of each other the whole time. So, yeah, we all went to Wizard World, and it was, as you could tell, quite an adventure. What did you think about Wizard World, Clyde?
Since I dressed, first time dressing, I think I enjoyed more me going around dressed up and the art instead of me going around buying stuff. I actually thought I was gonna spend like $200.
Don't you normally spend that much though?
No, last year I spent like $160. I spent only $60, and it was mostly in Pokemon cards. But I actually enjoy people asking me to want to take a picture, and I was the only one who went as a Psycho Bandit, so it was exciting.
I always forget what it's called. I kept calling it. He went for some dude from Borderlands with no clothes on. That's how we knew what you. And so, what did you think, Legendary?
It wasn't that bad. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed from going to cons. It's mostly, I had a fun experience of the transporter malfunctioning, so I was plain clothes. I don't like being in costume.
Yeah.
Guys. So,
It was a little bit on the fritz that day, I will totally admit. But it's always on the fritz. I blame Pyro and Vlad.
yeah,
Done with that.
I did take good pics, though. I was able to requisition the camera and just start taking pictures, but I enjoyed it.
And Death?
Mainly, wow, I can't even talk today. Mainly,
He's all being gentlemanly. Do you hear that?
I know.
Cannot talk today.
all right,
You're not
fine.
fooling anybody.
What a
Oh,
wanker.
Whatever.
Oh, what
No.
a wanker.
But it's mainly just a different con. Same thing, same, like pretty much just the same, just a different type of what it was. So I enjoyed it.
I had a blast, and I think Pyro as Waldo was probably the big draw for our group because there you are. I found you.
Yeah,
There's
was
Waldo.
That was pretty annoying.
We could not walk 5 feet without hearing that. It was just like
No, we could walk 5 feet if I was in front of him and everyone made a wide.
yeah, and then it got to the point where like, we found you. Please don't. We don't want him. We were trying to push him away, and people just didn't get it. And then he came across that other Waldo, and we're like, "There's 2 Waldos," and then it turned out there was 3.
God.
So there was 3 of them running around in one place. There has to be some sort of time paradox with that that's about to explode upon us for real. I had fun because it's always good to meet up with the old people that we've met at conventions and find new ones. Like the Escott group was there, and they were just in good spirits as always. And I don't get to see him a lot, but Legend Larry does. We met a Transformers group. They had the giant gold. What was it?
Devastator.
I think it was Fortress Maximus.
It was Fortress Maximus,
that's
one
what
of
it
the
was.
like only a 5 made or something. And they have one, and it was just awesome. This giant gold Transformer. We talked Transformers for a bit, and we're probably gonna do some stuff with them in the future.
Yay.
And my big news, I finally found a Star Trek cosplay group. They're based out of Round Rock. It's like the USS Navarro or something, I think.
Okay, cool.
It was awesome. They were all there. They exist. It was okay. It's so hard to find Star Trek people to do stuff with, which you'll see later this season. It's like they don't exist. They're all out in the closet somewhere. And now that Star Wars is already big, but now Disney bought it, people are coming out of the woodwork as Star Wars fans all of a sudden. So we'll be fine with that. And the Museum of the Weird People, like Clyde has a video you can watch online.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
of the actual show they put up where the guy was electrocuting himself, lighting light bulbs. They were swallowing swords and hammering. Oh,
was
wow.
insane.
I was like, what?
I actually feel like puking just watching him just stick the sword down his throat. I'm like, man.
I mean,
must
how
have
do
had
you realize
practice.
you could do that? Like, are you a baby putting butter knives down your throat saying, look what I'm going to do? Well, you got to start somewhere. I mean, how do you realize you could swallow a sword or you can electrocute yourself and light a light bulb? You're bored one day thinking, hey, I got an idea. Let's do this.
Isn't
My
that how you
mind's
normally
saying-
Hi,
make
my
some
name
of your
is blah
stuff
blah
up?
blah. Welcome
That's
to
how we come up with a lot of
Jackass.
our stuff. But there's a line we have to draw with sheer electrocution. Oh, let's touch him, see what happens. And all these people were like freaked out by it. It was the coolest, weirdest thing.
I like this.
Well, at least it'll make your hair look better.
It probably would. I won't, you know, it's.
That's probably how
I have
he
wind
gets
hair
his
totally bad.
hair.
Huh? Wait,
Yeah,
my
when Death
flesh
is in
hair?
his flesh suit, he has middle-aged lino hair.
You're welcome.
It's like a lion's mane. You saw it on
No, you saw a
the
part of
LARPing
it.
show.
Yes. Well, no, actually, no, you didn't. Because I was always wearing the hood because I
Oh,
took
yeah.
his body.
Death's flesh suit is really weird, just so you know.
Would you like for me to put it on?
No, we
Y'all
don't
take-
want to.
Did y'all meet any of like famous people they had?
You know, that was one of my big problems I had was their whole celebrity thing. I have a huge issue paying them more than a ticket price for a signature. Or the fact that their big panel was a whole nother ticket. It was the Star Trek reunion. That was a whole nother, just as much as the ticket to get in.
That was insane.
Not to mention, what was it, like $1,000 to get a picture with him, and all you were in there for was like 2 seconds, and
Yeah,
people
No,
did that.
That's just the whole Star Trek.
And you
group.
look at the pictures, they're the least enthusiastic people sitting there like this. You know, I would have at least put like a bridge set in there, and y'all be like on the bridge or something, but they just sat in folding chairs, and you stood behind them.
Well,
The people paid $1,000 for that.
it's
And then.
Well, they have money.
No, and then money to get their signatures at least what?
And apparently to take a picture with Patrick Stewart was almost $100.
75, I believe.
Okay, that dude has more than enough money. And if
Okay.
you're taking a picture with him, you're obviously not going to sell it because you're in the picture. You know, like last year we went, Baby Boba Fett, Daniel Logan, he gave Mars a signature because he thought Mars was cool.
Really?
You will find people like that, but most of the time you're not even allowed to take cameras over there. So that's the one issue of the conventions I have is the overpriced, here's my signature, get out of my face.
Okay, well,
You know?
I don't know. Will you pay $10 for a signature? Or
That wouldn't be bad.
That's what I did.
Yeah,
like, the
you
guy
got
who
a voice
voices,
actor, right?
Yeah, the guy who voices Broly. I don't know what's
Yeah.
his name. Signature and a picture, $10 each, 20. I mean,
See,
damn,
that's
that was a
not
pretty
bad. But when
decent-
you're paying $50,
and
I have a problem with that.
and we got to talk with him. He was a very nice guy. I liked him a lot. He was very simple. I don't know. He was just very nice. I liked him.
However, the artists, they were all super friendly. They were willing to sign stuff. You know, you have fun. Humberto Ramos, I think that's his name. I love that dude. He was so fun in person, just to talk with.
I wonder what the situation. What about that guy?
I didn't even see the
I
situation.
Neither
saw
did
him.
I.
saw.
Did
he,
you really?
He was next to the. He was two people away from the guy that voices Broly.
Should I be concerned you actually sought out the situation?
No, I didn't. He was just right there. He was. Yeah, he was.
But I
just-
will tell you
No,
this.
there was people actually in line. I was like, okay.
For
I mean,
this,
for the
were they guys
No,
or
it wasn't like a
girls?
big line. I probably like saw 4 people, but there was more of a line for the guy I was getting the autograph for.
Now, I will say this. Patrick Stewart, that dude is ripped. He could kick all the other captains.
Like he's.
I mean, unless he hits a gym every day, all day. I mean, he is an old man, but he could totally school you in a fight. He just has that presence and that look, and I was like, he's the best captain, bar down, bar none, whatever, done. Best captain right there. But that was my big issue was the celebrities. They had a much better celebrity setup this year, but
That's just too expensive.
It's kind of overpriced versus
Yeah.
what, you know.
it is, and
insane.
and that's the celebrities charging that. I mean, you have fans.
Do they
you wanna
charge,
respect them.
or is it just a Wizard
No,
Con thing?
it's the celebrities. They're doing it. It's not Wizard World. Wizard World charged for the extra event, for which was the Next Generation panel. But you know, I had a problem with that too. You know, you're already charging people to get in. Then they have to pay for. You know, they're buying a lot of overpriced toys,
Yeah.
and they have to pay for signatures and autographs, things like that. And it's just it adds up.
But I
and
mean-
I love conventions, but that's like the only downside. It looks like Pyro wants to say something.
Yes, the lab coat's in the cleaner, and I'm hoping this mic is on. But the convention this year seemed like it was focusing way too much on Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yes.
There wasn't really much else. It was a little bit smaller than last year.
Yeah, it was.
It
very small.
and it just felt like they were focusing way too much on Star Trek because a lot of that art there that you see that some people were selling, there's somebody there selling the signed posters of like the captains and everything with their ships.
Yeah.
And then there was like the sparkle art with Captain Jean-Luc Picard and everything.
Yeah,
They
I
were
saw
focusing
that.
too much on Star Trek, and that drove me nuts.
Well, I mean, it was a Star Trek-based thing. I mean, that would be why.
Yes, it was, but for like the vendors and everything to be more for seems like they
Well,
still had their
the vendors
large.
are going to jump on the thing, period.
Yeah.
And they did a good job of it, And yeah, it was a little smaller, but it was also a little bit better laid out. Well, better. Is that even a word? It was
More
better
better.
laid out,
Better laid
and it was a little bit more organized than in the past years. And it's always fun. But this year, going in costume made a world of a difference.
Yeah.
I think it's the theme because before you had the movie themed and last year.
Well,
was-
no, the only convention that's ever themed is Texas Comic Con in San Antonio. All the other conventions, just a bunch of people. But this year, their big hyped event was the Next Generation.
Yeah.
And our official Diabolical Minion, Chris Rachel, actually got to talk to Will Wheaton, apparently,
Oh, awesome.
which
Nice.
was quite hilarious. You want to say something about that? Here's our Diabolical Minion, Chris Rachel.
Yeah, I'm lucky enough to be the technology and geek life reporter for the Austin Post, which occasionally gets me a chance to talk to some interesting people. I got to talk to Will Wheaton, Michael Rooker, and Neil Adams. Neil Adams, kind of a dick. Everyone's shocked. Oh my God, a man that age from New York who does nothing but draw half-naked women is a little misogynistic? No, no! Will Wheaton, on the other hand, was just as sweet as everybody would have expected. Like, he'd had a long day. He actually started the conversation by saying, look, I just really want to have dinner and feed my cat and just get this over with. And then he talked to me for an hour. And yeah, and was just like all about his podcast and about changes in career and things like that, and how much he appreciates people like Felicia Day and Chris Hardwick and whatnot. And so it was really nice getting to talk to him because there's no
So-
way going to the convention that I would have had a chance to talk to him at all.
So what did you think of the convention overall?
I like old school conventions better. I mean, I grew up in science fiction fandom, so I'm not a big fan of the Comic-Con style ones because you go in, you're like, it's Nerd Mall! Go shop for all the nerdy things that you can buy cheaper on the internet. Have a good time, kids. And there's not much else going on. I mean, there's not a nightlife, there's not a masquerade. I mean, not the like old school masquerade styles. There's not dances. There aren't the things that I like at a convention. It's just like you've taken all the best parts, stripped those away, and just left, like you guys were saying, the most expensive commercial parts out there.
It's almost like a corporate convention, in other words. Right?
That is exactly what it is, and they make really good money off of it. But it's kind of sucked the soul out of it. It made me really miss not having gotten to go to Dragon Con this year.
Well, it has gotten a lot better over 3 years.
Really?
It has. The first year was total chaos. Last year, it was getting pretty good. This year, it was a little bit more structured, and it really has come a long way. But I agree that, but this year they did have that, for the press at least, that was a Thursday night party.
Yeah.
Pre-party, which we didn't get to go to because we were all busy.
I went to that. Actually, it was nice, but it wasn't. Their idea of press was mostly like, hey, here's your local Green Hornet blogger. Like, we have a local Green Hornet blogger? Sure. It's
Do we really?
Yeah, actually. And so it's just a whole bunch of like really niche bloggers in town that have a very specific sort of geeky thing, and a bunch of podcasters, which was nice. But I think I was as close as it comes to respectable media that was there.
Until
Yes.
you would have showed up.
When I'm the respectable one, you need to go out and talk to more media.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
it was definitely a good time. But we got one interview. Actually, we got a few, but we only have one to show today because Death did some of Sunday. Pyro got to talk to one of his favorite comic book companies, Red 5. And I really had no clue who they were before we started talking to them. But they're awesome. And so, do we have that video ready? Yes. All right, so we're going to watch
Yay.
Pyro's interview with Red 5, and you'll see how awesome they are. Like, I just love them now. I want to, like, fall in love and go
Are
bed
they
them.
based here in Austin?
No, they're based out of Houston.
Okay, if you're gonna do that, please let me get out of the room.
You know you like to watch.
No,
All
I
right,
do not.
So here comes the video of Pyro with Red 5. So we're going to really quick run down our favorite and worst moment of Wizard World. So I'm going to start with you, Clyde. What was your best and worst moment?
I guess my best part was just going dressed up, period. It was just fun.
What was your worst part? Your pants falling off? Oh, my God. They were like sagging around your knees. I was like, Mariah, tell her to pull them up. She's like, I can't.
That and those freaking boots I was wearing, those were kind of annoying. I mean, I got them from Goodwill, Jesus.
That's the reason.
They were actually comfortable, no? Don't get me wrong. Now I can see why Josh or Pyro likes to wear
Combat boots?
yeah, they're comfortable. But
They're made to fight in and kill people in.
Yeah, but not stand.
and that was me that kicked Waldo when he was getting choked.
We all
Alright.
kicked him.
That was
What
actually
about-
a good fight.
Yeah.
there.
What about you, Legendary?
Well, I can say the one kind of what I liked about it was the skit.
We're not watching that video. Please tell me you don't have it queued.
Gremlins.
Legendary.
Well, it's mostly, I guess, from seeing all the cosplayer women in their skin-clad costume. Spot on, loved it.
Yes.
It's like more of them. Yes, the merrier the better. But I guess the worst moment I had there was mostly just no place to sit. I wish there was more comfortable places to sit.
Yeah, there really wasn't any place.
There's like
to
three
sit.
little areas, but not like I want a mass of chairs or bean bags in one spot.
What if they're all taken?
They normally are.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Uh-huh.
What about you, Death? Best and worst.
The best was, again, seeing all the cosplay girls and all this, but it's also how everyone just spread it around going, the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, it
And
was-
like how that little kid was following me at the
yeah,
end.
a little kid almost followed him out of the convention, like a 4-year-old. His parents just stopped paying attention.
Yeah, and then my worst moment was how quickly it got boring for Waldo. You were always hearing, "Oh, there's Waldo. There's
Found
Waldo."
you. Oh, we haven't heard that one before.
And
you
then
know?
and then the other one was on Sunday where one of the pictures shows like a Harley Quinn, and she was all right until she started rambling her mouth. Then it was just a I want to get out of here moment. Even Bunny will agree with it.
Pyro, you want to say something real quick?
Yes.
Best and worst.
My best moment, I got a glimpse of Patrick Stewart's bald head
I did.
through a
too.
giant crowd of people.
I really didn't.
The worst moment was after about the fifth one. Every time somebody said, "Hey, I found you," and I kept track.
What was the total?
It got over 150 before I lost count.
So if you didn't like it, you knew the consequences.
I knew it. I just didn't expect everyone to go, "Hey, I found you," and say the exact same joke.
Over
Well,
and over and
remember,
over again.
remember, you're going in a square area.
There were a few people that said, I wonder where Waldo is. That was kind of funny.
Okay,
That one wasn't heard too
if we
often.
heard more of
I
that-
found you was the most common one I've heard.
or even
10
look.
points. That's not a funny one.
Huh?
The dude that came with just 10 points.
Ah, there you go.
So, I think my worst moment. I don't think I really had a worst moment. I think dealing with the celebrities was my worst moment. Just looking at them and seeing at the fact that they're overcharging these poor people who just are their fans.
And how quickly
I am rapidly rabid about that. It makes no sense to me whatsoever to charge your fans for being your fan. I get the fact that, oh, they're going to sign a car, I'm going to charge you $100 so you're just selling on eBay. I kind of get that, but at the same time, I don't.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
You've already made money off of the merchandise.
Exactly. I would say like it makes some sense to cover the cost of the printing the paper, getting the ink pens. That would make some sense. But like, okay, everything beyond that, you're gouging.
Yeah.
You know, it's like really.
Doug Jones, the first year, was one of the better. He didn't charge that much. Doug Jones is awesome. He's that guy he's like the guy behind the mask. He was Pan in Pan's Labyrinth. He was
Okay.
Ape Sapien, stuff
Yeah.
like that. He is awesome. But my best moment was being in costume. Do you have the video ready?
Oh gosh, not this
Okay.
again.
I was Jake from Finn and Jake, and my goal was to find every Finn and science dance with them.
Whose job was it?
My job to find every Finn and science dance with them. So this is what it was like.
And you
Ready?
pulled us all with it.
Go say, but yeah, that was science dancing, and even when I left, there were still Finns coming in, and we were screaming at each other across the street and stuff.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
It was awesome. So, talking about conventions, you know, Wizard World could really grow a lot. I will totally admit that, and I think Chris Rachel had an idea for how they could grow. Let's hear what she has to say.
Bum, ba-da-bum.
Well, the number one thing I'd like to see conventions like Wizard World do, because they have displaced the more classic science fiction conventions, is be more open to helping fans meet one another. Because if you're from out of town or you just moved to Austin and everyone is from out of town and just moved to Austin, how are you supposed to actually talk to all these strangers in costumes? Once you've taken a picture, there's not a good segue to like, hi, you have a beard. Let's have coffee. I mean, how do you talk to people, you know? So instead of just having the tables set up where it's like, hey, go over there and beg them all for a card and say, can you, oh, maybe I'll join your club someday. Have some actual spaces where the fan groups can like throw the equivalent of a room party from older conventions, or have masquerades or gatherings or something that they're actually doing. Take a note from Dragon Con. Have things like the Mighty Big Shindig that night, where all the Firefly fans can get together and have a dance. Things like that, so that you actually have this social aspect to it instead of it just being must shop at Nerd Mall.
And see, there wasn't much social. There was like I think 4 fan tables this year of local groups, as opposed to last year where they had like a whole lot more. But they have really weird fan table rules.
Yeah.
So, and they were missing the social aspect totally because people weren't really connecting. It was shopping celebrity, celebrity.
And it's kind of soulless in that way, because one of the wonderful things about science fiction is, you're all geeks together. You kind of still feel, even though it's gone a little more mainstream, you still feel like you're sort of this outsider culture. And you look around at all these people in these amazing costumes, you're like, I want to be your friend. I don't even know you, but that's a fucking awesome costume, and we're gonna be bestie friendies. And
You need to watch your language.
I know,
Rachel.
this is why I don't have friends,
Slipped out.
because I have
Back
a
in the
horrible,
dungeon you go
horrible
with
naughty
death.
child. Anyway, so doing things that would make it possible for people to meet, having minglers, having something so that people have, even, what Larry was saying earlier, with just having like some lounges where there may be something to eat and some places to sit and some places to charge your computers. People will talk in places like that. So do something to make it possible for all these total strangers to get together and make friends.
Well, there was actually a place where you could go and eat, but it was like really high price. I mean, you can go to any of the other places and get about the better meal than it was over in the convention.
It was vendor overpriced concession stand prices.
Yeah, I don't mean something like that. I mean more like, and again, I keep coming back to like, why isn't it like an old school science fiction convention?
I like your body motions. Here, yeah. But
Pirate,
like,
dude.
for
Pirate.
instance, like ChimeraCon, which is a board game convention in San Antonio, they have different groups and just tables you can sit at and play with people.
Yeah.
It's very open. It's all about connecting.
Yeah.
Wizard World this year didn't seem about connecting. It seemed about give me your monies.
Yeah.
I think it was like you said, it's so much corporate theme. They wanted to sell Star Trek, to have the vendors sell their product,
The devil.
and that's pretty much it. There was no social aspect. There were sprinkle of groups there. They were trying to convey, hey, we're here, we're Austin, but it was mostly. If you looked at it, there were I guess more vendors than there were those booths.
Yeah, it's like-
going forward. Even with the big groups having the big tables, they're still surrounded by vendors all over the place. Not one
It's like,
section.
ooh, look, my table right here. Look at it. Buy something now.
Yeah.
So, Derek Brown is here with us. Hi.
Hello.
He's from the Austin Fan Force, one of our friends.
Yay.
What do you think?
I think the biggest problem with Wizard World conventions is, again, it is a corporate culture. They're nationwide. They rotate anywhere between 4 and 12 cities at any given time. And they really just minimize the local aspect of the fan clubs and all that, where it's just an afterthought of, oh, hey, we'll give you a free table, but don't you dare leave it, or we will ban you forever from our little conventions. Other conventions, it's like, no, we'll give you the table. In fact, we want you to do stuff. Do something like with the 501st, or with Escott, or with the lightsaber groups, where they put on shows for the kids and stuff. Well, there's you'll have prop builders coming with huge props that they bring in. I mean, that's what makes a convention more fan friendly, is by having the fans have input on what they want to see at a show.
And that he has a good point, because like the steampunk ones are like that. They have that's just a giant community gathering. The anime conventions are like that.
Yeah.
I don't like going to anime conventions anymore simply because I get tired of the free hugs and the smell. But
Okay.
I gotta say that the first Wizard World had that. It was mostly based off a movie. There were movie panels.
yeah,
Again, for this aspect, they literally stripped that away for some reason. I just don't know why. It's kind of weird.
Well,
So-
one of the things I remember from the first time they came around Austin, when they had the costume contest, because it was near Halloween, and apparently when they did the costume contest parade, where they paraded everyone, they paraded them out of the building and then locked the doors.
was that the one where they had that big band and everyone
Yes.
followed the band right out the door?
Yes.
But there was a band, I gotta say,
It was a great band. I wish they would have come back, because
Yeah.
it was, what was it called, like Super Jambalaya
And one of the things they
Parade
did with
Band or
that first
something?
convention was it was in conjunction with Ain't It Cool News, even though they consider them not to be a real media organization for some reason. And you did have after parties and other events going on after the convention. There was none of that going on this time around, from what I understand.
There really wasn't anything to do
There
afterwards.
there was one party.
There was also, that, like Chris Rachel said, that press party.
Yes, but the one party is the one that you don't like, so I'm not even gonna go say
Which
it.
party?
Suicide Girls.
Oh,
I
I
told
think
you.
they're the most overrated people.
I-
Yeah, let's take pictures of us all skanky and be famous. Yay!
I told you wouldn't
Did they
like it.
have
That's
that
why I
booth?
kept it off.
Yeah, they had suicide. That was
Yes.
the one picture they took on Friday. Was them with the Suicide Girls. I was like, really, people?
Hey, there was nothing else.
I'm sure they're nice people, but let's make names for ourselves by being basically whores.
Well, I mean, it's
Pinups, yes.
pinups
okay.
like at the regular
But yeah,
Playboy
you know,
bunnies. But yeah,
Well,
There
that's how
should
you
be
get
more to do.
famous today. You get famous by doing absolutely nothing but whoring yourself out.
maybe that's what we should do.
yeah, you would make the most money.
Yeah, we are kind of doing that already, but you know, I would definitely like to see that, and I think I'll let them know because we have to turn all our coverage in the show to them, and a lot of it's just been something was missing this year, and so it's like I know this is the third year and it's still growing, but it has gotten a little bit better organized, and a little better over the years. Maybe next year we can kind of poke them to try to do more fun events.
I would say if I had full control of it, I think I would have done literally the corporate part, literally what they did, but added another section purely just for vendors and for groups. Say, hey, yeah, you know, we're not going to charge you to go here, but we're going to have the space available. But if you want to go corporate and like almost like literally vendor tables, the TNG, I would literally spread that out and had it 2 sections. It would have been much more funner.
So you're saying like like the IkiCon, like how they did it.
Exactly.
There
Now,
you go.
I am glad this year that they put all the celebrities on the side because the past 2 years they were going right down the middle, and you couldn't have a camera anywhere near there. Like they would have bodyguards stopping you. You're like, I'm trying to take a picture of this toy. No, you can't pull out a camera because there's a celebrity right here. I was so much happier that they were on that side. You were there last year, remember? Lou Ferrigno was notorious. You cannot even pull out a phone near that dude.
Well, Bunny got to talk to him.
Yeah, she got to talk to him, but good luck taking a picture. That's a totally different story.
Oh, I know.
He
But
wants to make his money, but still, like, come on, Hulk, come on, come on.
So that was our fun at Wizard World. We
Yeah.
did have fun, but we'd like to see it change some. And this is our new time. We now have Saturday time slots from 6 to 7, which is going to be great.
Yay.
You guys can come be in the audience like Derek was today. He's all still waving. Hi! And that's free. You just go to our website and book it. You can see all the ones we have coming up. We are changing our format a little bit starting next week because next week we are totally bashing Twilight because the new movie's coming out and there's only one of us on crew who actually like Twilight, and he's a dude, so he will totally sold.
No
He
wonder.
loves freaking Twilight.
Can we fire him?
I wish
No.
I could, but you know, so we will be
We
doing
have to have
Twilight Bash,
We have to have something to pick on
and so
besides you.
we're gonna start rolling out a new format next week where we're gonna be doing a lot more. So it's gonna be really interesting. We're doing a lot on the website. You can catch all of our Wizard World stuff on the website. Our pictures are on Facebook. Our videos on YouTube. You can go and say how much you love or hate me science dancing, or you can agree with Clyde on how people taste.
Hey, I'll eat.
If you want to try
I'll
human,
eat
let me
people.
know.
He
I'll
doesn't
give you
care,
a
dude.
human.
Do you find that odd that he wants
know,
to know what people taste like?
How do you know that chicken doesn't taste like humans?
Yeah.
There you go.
You're not supposed to support this.
Yes, he is.
And so that's what we do, and we have a lot coming up. And if you want to, I'm just going to say now, if you want to find good geek events to go to, Chris Rachel has a blog or a Facebook. What is it? You go to the mic.
Please.
As in conjunction with the Austin Post, again, being the geek and technology reporter for them, I have a column called This Week in Geek. It comes out every Thursday and has the next weeks of events, so you can plan your weekend that way. And there's also a Facebook group associated with it called, amazingly, This Week in Geek, because we like to keep it easy. And I usually have 10 to 20 different events listed on it. Check it out. If you're here in Austin, you need something geeky to do. We usually have a lot of really good stuff. I do the research for you, so you don't have to waste your time on the internet.
Awesome.
Well, you know, but you do need to waste your time visiting her site to get the events. You know what I mean. So she's going to come feature a couple events each week on our show. We'll have reviews, skits. It's going to be a really interesting transition, so bear with us as we do that. Because we literally could talk for hours about anything, but sometimes we can't. And so,
Darn it.
yeah. Yeah, so it's a much easier time. We'll have better guests, and we will not have a show Thanksgiving weekend. But our last live show of the year is going to be December 15th, and we're going to be giving stuff away. I'm already starting to get that stuff. I got the Red versus Blue complete boxed set on Blu-ray, which is like $185. We're just giving away. So I'm going to keep a list of prizes there. Seats are limited, so you're going to have to book early for our shows. And you can interact with us like they did. And camera's not on. You quit waving.
Now it is. Go. Wave.
She is an official Diabolical minion. She'll be allowed. And we have shows coming up with her next year that are going to be quite interesting.
Yay.
And we'll probably see more of Derek and the Austin Fan Force because we love them. What exactly do you guys do besides eat and talk Star Wars? Because that's all I've ever seen you guys do.
Well, we eat and talk Star Wars.
Yeah.
What else is there to do? It's Star Wars.
Yeah, like do you guys dress up, right? Y'all have costumes?
A couple of us have costumes.
Okay.
I'm in a group called the Dark Empire, which is all Sith costuming.
Which one
you were
has
there
the,
when we inducted Sam Whitwer.
which
couple
is
years
the
ago.
group that has the working R2D2?
That is the R2 Builders organization. Jimmy McShann is the one that has the local R2, and he's
Here in
always
town?
he's always hanging out with the 501st.
Yeah, I love the R2 because we're doing the Star Trek versus Star Wars showdown. So we'll probably see some of you guys and our new Star Trek friends. So it's going to be a debate towards the end of the season. It's next year. It's going to be very interesting to see you guys go at it. He's all quiet.
Well, I got one of my big debate points was going to be at least we're not owned by a big media corporation, but that's kind of shot right to hell now, isn't it?
Yeah, because it happened to you too, right? As soon as they announced it, my phone was blowing up. I had to put it aside.
I was at work 5 freaking minutes, and then my phone starts going up, just ringing nonstop, and I'm like, what the? I'm looking at my Facebook post, and it's like, no, seriously, you need to see this. This is not a joke. Lucas
totally thought
sold
it was
for
a
$4 billion.
But you know what the best part of it is? He's giving all that to an educational charity.
All of the profits, the
$4.5
proceeds from the
billion.
sale, all the cash profits are going to charity, which is awesome.
That is awesome. Wow.
Good for him.
And,
I'm just excited for Star Wars 7.
And then Samuel L.
8 and
Jackson
9.
comes out today and says, "Man, he got ripped off."
I don't know why I find that so. I can just see him with this little hat on going, getting that angry face on. I can totally see that. So that's what we do. We come have fun. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. We're always live. We welcome you guys to come in here, visit us online. We have a Red versus Blue contest again right now. So all you gotta do is comment on articles. We pick one at random to give away. Derek won the last one we had.
We need more people posting on commenting on the articles. Seriously.
Getting people to comment is like pulling teeth. It doesn't matter how good your stuff is, and we get massive hits now. We can't get them to comment. It's a Facebook comment
It's
system.
Austin. We're nothing but lurkers around here.
I'm telling you, you know? And so I'm
must
trying to
look,
get people to do more. I'm like, I'll give this stuff away, no problem. Then they'll comment here and there, and it's just like, okay. It's just people like commenting, apparently. It's go comment more. Do it now, or I'll send this dude to your house.
They made it easy. It's through Facebook, for crying out loud.
And if you don't have Facebook, it also does Hotmail and Yahoo. There's 2 other options. And it's so easy to do. I don't get it.
Some people have
So that's it. Everyone say goodbye.
See ya.
Later.
We'll see you next week, same time. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Hope you're
Twilight
here.
Bash. You'll be able to call in, be in our audience. We're going to trash Twilight. Or if you love Twilight, come defend it. It's all good.
Don't
But if
come.
you like sparkly douchebag vampires, you're on your own. I'm just going to tell you right now.
Unless you're the one person on this group.
He's on his own. So, yeah. Complete list on our website.